There are only two kinds of helmets in the world. One is Arai. One is the other helmet. Let me tell you today a comparison between Arai 7 Forks and our Comfortable 414, two top products. Well, from our hardware configuration, from our wearing comfort, then from our weight, let me tell you about these 3 points. The first is the hardware configuration. This vent of these two helmets, and you can see here it's 1, 2, 1. Notice the 1 on the top of the head. And we have 2 on this forehead, then 1 for the mouth, and then the Armani is directly on the top of the head with 1 or 2. Then the one in front of the mouth, but the Armani has 2 more vents in front of the lens. It can be opened in this position. So at this amount of ventilation, Arai has a slight advantage besides this lens of Arai. What about the disassembly method? It's a little more troublesome than comfortable. Well, it has a design for this cover. We need to push and push. Open the lid and then remove the lenses. Well, maybe for some newbies, not too friendly. Then include its buckle lens. You also have to use a little force to align the cards. But what about this one? Well, 14 would be slightly more convenient. 4x14. You just need to hook this little handle on the side of it. One tick. This lens can be easily taken off. It's very easy to install. It is also very easy to buckle up and cover. So in terms of lens installation, X14 has a small advantage. Let's talk about the comfort of our wearing. Well, let's wear X first, 14. If both helmets have double D buttons. Needless to say, and then you can see the mouth. Arai will be a little smaller than 14. It's a little bigger. What about the helmet? Because Arai doesn't have our big tail. 14 has a big tail. So what about visually? The helmet body of 14 is also larger from the side. Let me show you. Japanese helmet. The good thing about it is that this part of our head is comfortable. It clearly feels comfortable in the ear space. But in fact, I should have brought size 1, which is suitable. This is an XL size, but it also has a strong wrapping. Generally speaking, it is still more comfortable. But I can feel it a little bit heavy. Compare with my fork light, a little heavy. Then let's take a look at this Arai 7 prongs. How does it feel after wearing it? Both of them are cross L codes. I especially took the same code. The 7-pronged one feels better on the cheek than the 4-pronged one. It doesn't have that much face clipping. Well, and the ear space is still the same as the Fork 14. It's all big and there's no pressure. Then the head space, its wrapping performance will be a little better than the Fork 4. We're not talking about chucks. Is it wrapping? It's very comfortable. In fact, from the wearing point of view, two helmets, are they similar to me? It is on the face that the 7 prongs will be more comfortable. Well, then you can obviously feel that the 7 prongs are lighter. You can obviously feel it. The 7 forks should be lighter. What about wearing it? Just like I just said, the face will be more comfortable. Then let's talk about weight again. Let's see how different these two helmets are. Riders who watched my previous video can see me measuring Z7 in this Fork 14. Fork 14 should be 1,750 grams. Let's weigh the weight of the Fork 14 of this fork again today. 1,730 grams. And then we look at the weight of 7X again. 1,650 grams. Well, the difference between the two helmets is about 100 grams. That's about 2 tails. Well, because according to each helmet, it may have an error of plus or minus 20. Well, in terms of weight, the 7 forks had a slight advantage over the 14 forks. Well, from these 3 aspects, in fact, I can't help you make this choice. Well, if you like this round helmet, then you can choose 7 forks and then include slightly lighter, including another culture. Did people say it? There are only 2 kinds of helmets in the world. One is Arai. One is the other helmet. Well, if you have a heart, maybe I think you should lean more towards Arai. But you have to like this pattern. Then compare this kind of flight of combat at the top level. You may choose X14's better, be more flamboyant, a little more flamboyance. Of course, there will be some heavier ones for us. Well, what about other options like this? I think it's better to leave it to the riders to choose for themselves.